Welcome back. Spawn is off doing what he's been talking about for most of the broadcast, and he will join us when he's done. Rusty, I'll tell you what, that was an enjoyable game to watch. My goodness, PGG looking like they could potentially do it, and you were saying that the early breaking of the base there by PGG, a bit of a flashback to the past for you.
Yeah, it took me back to the point where you probably got sick of me talking about it, but flashes back to the lane swap meta of a very long time ago. Of course, a little bit later in the game, this one, happening about 20 minutes, but it made me miss it a little bit, Nick. The ability to have League of Legends on so many intricate levels that just looks so incredibly boring. But this one was obviously very exciting because it happens 20 minutes in, and it was a good game overall from Pentanet, and Spawn mentioned it. They looked dangerous.
They did, and I mean, it happened 20 minutes in, and it happened from a team that we may not have expected, but certainly to a team that we weren't going to expect that from. Skimmy, we were so hot on Legacy. We were talking about the idea of like small cracks. Is this a crack appearing, or was it just like right time, right place for PGG?
I think it is the latter. I think there were a few, I mentioned it during the cast, right? There were a few uncharacteristic mistakes there. Like Rage trying to be like a montage play, if you will, getting separated from the team, trying to flash forward aggressively, trying to be a solo man mission. Obviously, the punishment in the end doesn't reflect it, but I'm sure he's going to be pretty hard on himself when he goes back to do that VOD review and go, hang on a minute, that game was far closer. Pentanet were one good decision away from closing out their victory and handing Legacy their first defeat at the split.
Rusty, when you're on a team, either as a player or a coach, and you have that kind of game as PGG, are you walking away disappointed that you didn't secure the win, or are you walking away enthused by the idea that you got that close?
Well, I mean, you have to look at expectations and reality as well, right? You'll be upset because you didn't win when maybe you could have. But if you take that bigger step back and look at the bigger picture, you push them, you challenge them, and you should be celebrating the good things that you did to get to that position, and then either building on those good things to make them better, because that could be your way in, or remedying the mistakes that you made, right? Like, there's always something good to look at. And I think that if I was the coaching staff of Pentanet.gg, you'd be saying, honestly, like, even if the players are upset, you'd be very happy with that.
They would be very happy indeed. I'm also happy about Biopanther Get Back. That's a very charming duo. That little video that started us off at the beginning of the broadcast. They got good on camera chemistry. Bio's funnier than you expect.
He also knows a lot about League of Legends champion names. That was, I think, half the video that they put in that little tease. But like, that man, he knows ability names. Not even all the casters in the world know. We just talk about what they do. For some reason, he's got the names memorized.
Yes, QWER. At the same time, though, not throwing flame, I heard you guys talking about at the end of the game, and I don't know whether it was mentioned, he doesn't know how to hit creeps. He was 160 farm at 32 minutes in that game. That's 5 CS a minute. I have supports that tax more solo queue farm than what BioPanther takes as a solo laner at the moment. That is...
Yeah.
Weren't happy. I'll tell you what, though. You talk about he knows ability names. I'm hoping that you guys know ability sounds, because we are jumping into the new game on the OPL, and this one's called the LEC.
Only you can hear me, Summoner.
Some big ears.
That was good. I like that.
That was a good job.
I like that.
Kent, that was a good job. Well done, buddy. All right, this is the LEC. Listen extra closely. I'm going to give you some champion
Has anyone
ability
complained
sounds.
to us about these titles so far, or are we just good to keep doing it?
What regions are we missing? I feel like we have most of them now.
We've done LCK, which was League Cooking. No, we've done LCS,
That's
which is
LCS.
League Cooking Sucks. We've done LEC, which is Listen Extra Closely. What was the LPL? Was League Playlist?
Yeah,
Or
League
something?
playlist. Yeah,
Yeah, was
Yeah,
music?
we did LPL.
So we have.
we need to do LCK.
We need to do LCK. We'll figure
Right.
it. We'll figure it out. And also, no one can complain because Riot owns all of those trademarks. We're not infringing on anything. I could have called that segment Froscurin, and there's nothing you can do about it. But it's not. It's this is listed extra close. So I'm gonna give you some champion ability sounds. You need to tell me who it is and the name of the sound. All right. It starts easy. It gets harder. We'll see how this goes. Can we get sound number 1, please?
Oh, Zoe Bubble.
Yeah.
Treble
Easiest.
bubble. Zoe.
It was too easy. That was too easy. It was arguably too easy. Now, look, I don't know anything about League of Legends. And even when I was like, hey, go find some sounds, producer comes back and sends me this list. I'm like, I know that. Come on.
No, that's
Give
it.
us a
That's so
challenge.
the best way to play this challenge now is we don't blurt out the answers if we know what it is. Nick goes first. So we hear the
He has
sound.
a list, though.
I've got a list.
Oh, damn
I've got
it.
the list.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
cheating. It's easy for him.
Yeah.
Damn
But
it.
I should have said I don't have to listen. It would have been amazing. All right. Sound number 2. Let's get it.
Elastic slingshot.
That sounds like Zachy.
There he is.
Zach?
There he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Too easy. Too easy. We should have it should have been harder. It should be like a mashing sound, and that's the sound of like my head smashing the keyboard when I die in ARAMs. All right. Sound number 3, please.
Alistair headbutt?
Oh,
It
I was
is.
well done, Rusty. Well done.
Okay.
I was expecting you not to be able to get that one. Chat doesn't even have a chance to play.
I was like wondering if it was like Malphite for a second, but yeah,
No,
makes
there you
sense
go.
now that you say it.
All right, listen extra closely to sound number 4.
Oh. That's Bard, Coco.
No,
W,
it's not.
Bard W.
No.
it's not.
Um,
That is the first incorrect answer.
Can we
I'm
play it
very excited
again?
by it. You can play it again. Can we play it
But I
again?
think-
I don't know. We never spoke about this.
It's not Sona.
so it's a heal. It's a champion with a heal. I think it's either Sirach or a Rakan.
Ah, it is Rakan Q.
It's Rakan Q.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
Rakan Q. Because Jake looked at the chat and was like, oh yeah, they've confirmed it. It's Rakan Q.
No, I did not. Why would I look at anything those degenerates say? I don't
Maybe.
have chat open.
It is blindingly obvious, as if you don't have chat open. All you do is read chat. You're on the toilet reading chat. You're obsessed. You're a man obsessed. All right, the final sound. Listen extra closely to this.
Oh.
Oh. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like it hurts.
It's like I don't know. Is that a recall animation like Lucian or?
No. No. I don't know.
It's metal with something going repetitive.
Would you like it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting sweaty. It's getting so sweaty.
Is it a specific skin sound or is it just normal
It could
bass
be a
skin
project
sound?
skin.
No, it's not. It's just bass.
Okay, so what has repetitive strikes in it? Urgot W, no. Pantheon E, I don't know. Lucian R,
It's
no.
not- I don't think it's the Wizzy wand, unless it's a skin.
What else has repetitive strikes? Is it Aurelian Soul Stars hitting something?
No, it sounds like
no.
metal.
It's like a Master Yi Q,
It's
but it
it's
goes
not
for
Master
too
Yi.
long. The second
not
one goes
Master
for
Yi.
like 6.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
This sound makes the same sound whether it hits someone or not. If that helps.
No.
Do you
doesn't help
want?
me.
Do
I
you
like what
want
Jake
a
mentioned.
key?
Either Urgot or Pantheon. That seems
It
likely.
is. I can tell you, it is an E.
Well, then it has to be like I've chat's got it, don't they?
Chat had it.
Yeah.
Chat had it.
What did
Chat
chat
had
say?
it. Friggin' 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, the chat's right on this one.
They didn't actually. Some people did, but lots of people are guessing different things. It is
China
Pantheon's E.
Tornado. I love that.
So it's the Pantheon's E, and then it's Pantheon's E, but empowered. I think that's
Yes.
what threw me off because there was
Ah.
2 different sounds in there.
There you go.
So the thing is that I enjoyed the minigame of how many multiple strike abilities are there in League of Legends more than the actual game that I was playing. So then I stopped thinking about the sound and just started thinking about how many multi-strike abilities we have.
That's good. It's almost like when you don't know the answer and have the ability to win, you then shift the blame onto the game rather than your lack of game knowledge.
Correct. Talia Q also multi-hit ability, by the way.
Yourself. True. So there you go. That was LEC listed extra close. So we got to knock off one more major region.
Syndra R multi-hit ability.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about abilities that hit multiple times.
Nick's like, get me out of this segment.
No. I'm like, you can't show off because you already failed at that. So you can't now impress me with anything else.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm having a genuine conversation, Nick. Nautilus Ultimate. Multiple hitting ability.
We've lost him. We've lost him as a person.
Nautilus E. There are so many multi-hitting abilities in the game. This is fun. I said Urgot W already, LMAO LP.
There you go. We've completely lost. Also, you changed your jacket again?
Well, you made fun of the last one. Then I got cold and I saw Rusty wasn't wearing this one, so I put it on.
We're going to go to NPL. The beanie's going to be on. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Then he'll say, it's Melbourne. Melbourne's the best state, but it's really, really cold.
Is it cold right now? Because Skippy's right. That beanie needs to make an appearance.
It's not cold at the moment. My ears are burning.
We'll talk to Jenna. She'll do something about it. All right, we're getting ready for game number 4. Before we get to that, I need to tell you about NeoSurf. It's going to be the second last day that I can tell you about this competition. So please, if you haven't entered, you should jump in right now for your chance to win $500 dues to spend on the League of Legends store, thanks to NeoSurf on a NeoSurf voucher. All you need to do is join our opening titles for the broadcast, film a video of yourself joining that phone call, follow OPL and NeoSurf Esports on Twitter, and send that video, DM that video to @OPL. You have until midnight tomorrow to get your entries in. We'll be judging them. Skimmy is relishing that idea. Full terms and conditions are on watch.lollysports.com, and like I said, first prize is $500. There'll be 5 runners up as well. Each person gets $100, all for use in the League of Legends store. So a massive thank you to our partner NeoSurf, where your privacy is protected with no need to provide a credit card or personal information. As we've spoken about before, NeoSurf better than your parents, because your parents didn't give you a credit card or anything when you were growing up. So NeoSurf, thank you very much for such a valued part of this broadcast. What was that, Rusty?
I said, thanks, Mum.
Thanks, Mum. Yeah. Thanks, Mum, for not allowing me to get into horrific debt. But also, I should have been able to buy whatever I want. Game number 4, we're heading into it. It is Order versus Avant. I mean, we just saw the banger, I feel like. But this one does have, Rusty, I'm going to say bang potential.
Yeah, it could slap pretty hard. We'll see how it goes. Order... It was kind of highlighted before. I'm very curious to see how they adapt to the new patch. And AV are very much, to me anyway, they're like an enigma. You're just not sure what type of AV you'll see on the day. And we've spoken about the potential of some of these players as well. So really seeing it shine through is important to me. Chaz is the person that you're always going to look at. Can he have that hero's performance again with his team to get the W?
It's interesting for me, Rusty, because it felt like they were banking a lot. This is for Avant. They were banking a lot on the early game leads they were able to achieve in the bottom lane. Obviously, the first game of last week, the Caitlyn was banned away. The game got stalled out. Obviously, then the 5-man range comp that the Chiefs had just outscaled them and had opportunities to outplay. But then the second game they go into it as well. They... in uncharacteristic fashion, they have a very passive bottom lane, unable to do anything there. They lose the mid lane as well, and then Yasuo and Gragas just took over the match. So I don't want to say that they've been exposed or found out, but I definitely found a new strategy coming into Split 2 to start things off with, which it has made them look like a new team.
Yeah, yes and no. I think that Gravitas had a really good draft versus them, right? So I think that one you can kind of write off. I think the Chiefs one was a little bit more of an enigma, where they just stalled the game for so long and let Likael come online. I think Order on the flip side of that are fighting everything at the moment, kind of to a silly degree. You saw against the Chiefs, like, they didn't have bottom lane priority. They still went for the fight. They got shut out of that fight. Next fight around Dragon, they tried to fight that. They got beaten there as well. Still coin flipping the week 1-1, and it does seem to be based on, can they out micro teams at the moment? I think on one of their new shows, Inside Order Lol, they said that they want to micro check people. They feel like they have good players at the moment, so we'll see whether that is the case in this game.
And Spawn, what are Order going to do this game? What secret strat are they pulling out? Give us the inside goss. What use are you here being a GM if you can't spill?
I'm an unbiased caster this time around, and it's pretty good because obviously Order this week brought on Charlie, who was previously from Direwolves and Avant Gaming. Why are you guys laughing at the moment?
No reason.
So we brought on Charlie, and he'll be doing all the drafting and stuff at the moment. So it's good to be able to take a little bit more of a step back and be able to cast the guys again.
Streaming and it's just popping off right now. I'm so distracted by it, I have to be honest.
This is the first time that you've casted an Order game this year.
It absolutely is the first time I've cast an Order game this year, Rusty, and I'm very excited for it. Nick, you are so unprofessional.
He just wants to talk about Charlie.
There's like three things that like this, which is unbearable for the audience because it's like they'll never know what those three things are. But there are three conversations that just keep propelling through my mind based off the last 10 seconds of conversation.
What are they, Nick? Come on, spill the beans. Share the joke with the class.
No, we're fine. We're good. Well, we're hoping Order and Avant is a good way to round out the day. It won't be the last game of League of Legends you see tonight because obviously after the OPL, we do have the MPL where we'll be jumping into some ARAMs. We did Valorant last week. I think we did Valorant maybe the week before, or we did maybe TFT and Valorant. So we're getting into some ARAMs tonight. And do we want to do customs? Do we care about the rerolls? What do you think?
Care a little bit.
We care
But
a little bit.
I don't mind.
Maybe we could do one. You can play along as well, but you have to be bad at the game because there's no fun when we just get stomped. No, that's not good content. Good content is us winning because then we're happy and then we're fun. When we get spanked, it's just like we become sad, bad little boys and curl up into little emotional balls. All right, it's time to jump into game number 4 for the evening. It is Order versus Avant. I'm going to take my laughing off camera for a while, and we'll see you after game 4 and the Macca's Jam Select.
2-0 feeling would have been like the icing on the cake, you know? It would have been like, just like, or actually no, it would have just been the cake. It would have been like the reward for actually like having a good week of practice and like showing it to fans and to ourselves and stuff like that. So 1-1 again does suck, but you know, still gonna chase the 2-0 every week. So it doesn't dishearten me at all.
There's definitely like some pressure. I'm not letting it impact me too much, but at the current progress so far, we're 1-1 2 weeks in a row again. I sort of don't want to repeat what we did last split, so like I'm trying really hard to improve, and I'm sure the team is as well.
And welcome back for the final time tonight. For the big one is Order taking on Avant, and as you can see there from the video with Ayla on repeat, really basically saying, I don't want to have what happened to us in the past. It is the 1-1 shenanigans. It is our power spike, if you will. But I have a sneaking suspicion, given that we have the big dog himself, Big Spawn here, casting Order. Is that the buff? We talk about playoff buff for your team. Is caster buff a reality here today?
Absolutely not, Skimmy. I cast Order the entirety of the first split. They played as a play-by-play caster before I was sacked from the position, and we went completely 500, I believe. So not the buff that we've been looking for. Yeah, I'm just interested to see how this plays out.
Going to be a big one because both teams currently sitting at 2 and 2, so equal in the standings. But definitely, as we highlighted, have a little bit of a different design, really, if anything, on what is priority. And we can see that once again, teams still respecting the Caitlyn that gave them so much promise to start things off with. Violet still retaining that starting spot and definitely becoming a real namesake now as to, yes, this is his position. He has been promoted to the front run, and Guncrab will be the one looking to maybe be deployed in some of those other games. But Order definitely have a real shot at going 2-0 this week. They have Avant today. They will have Mammoth tomorrow. So a strong performance here will definitely put them in with a chance.
Yeah, completely agree, Skimmy. And if you're playing Legacy in week 1 and getting 1-1, that's fine. But would have loved to pick up the win against the Chiefs, I'm sure, Order. And this one is kind of the must-win 2-0 week if you are going to cement yourself as a top 3. You know, try and take Direwolf's spot, who do seem to be a little bit rocky at the moment, Skimmy. I guess talking about the draft right now, really like Avant Gaming's draft actually so far. They've got that keep you at arm's length comp that we like to talk about. They've got a Yuumi, Graves, as well as Ezreal. It's not going to be completely 5 range because they are going to bring a set into the fold as well. But this comp has a really good range advantage over Order at this stage.
Certainly does, and it's becoming a bit of a common theme now. It's something that we've seen actually happen overseas as well, right? LCK, LEC, since they've been back in business, is that if you are going to play the Ezreal Yuumi, the response is, we're not going to try and go into the likes of a kill lane, be it Nautilus, be it Freshener. We're going to just match fire with fire, Enchanter for Enchanter, a exclusive trade really on power picks for those AD carries, but saying you can have the Yuumi, we'll have the Lulu. We've seen it for the 3rd time here today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw Lulu Karma in last game, and then we've seen, Lulu Yuumi in the other couple. And I like that, Skimmy. I like, you guys can have scaling. We're going to take scaling. Your scaling is on your support. Our scaling is on our AD carry. And I think a little bit of a spanner thrown in the works here from Order because they've kind of bucked the scaling trend with the last 2 picks and gone very early game. Twisted Fate, point click stun, Lee Sin, one of the best early game junglers in the game. So I think this is definitely a different look from Order than what we've seen.
This is a very different pick. One that we haven't seen come out from Harry, all split long. He's never played the Twisted Fate, but I think this is a pick that, much like the Gangplank, gives you a lot of ability to try and play through that bottom side of your map. You can have the Global, you can have the Destiny to try and influence things. We saw when Chaz was shut down in the weaker past that unable to really contest in the river, unable to ever leave the lane to even make that a situation. So we can definitely see that there are definitely 2 top laners ready to use those teleports to come in and influence. You've got 2 very proactive junglers. They'll be either looking for picks or looking for farm. And these mid laners that will want to be finding targets so they can set up for those wombo combos.
Yeah, and Skimmy, I really spoke too soon. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but Jenna must have turned the aircon off because I am freezing. So give me 2 seconds to just bang out a message.
I always know it reaches that point of the day and we start to get the beanies on. And that's exactly what we got here today as I get myself ready and strapped in to this one. We're going to get another Orianna. It is the staple pick. They have obviously the smoke screen to start things off, lock that person in place, and then if we can bank on the success that Chaz has had in terms of how strong he's been, if he can recapture that performance from week number 1, then he can find those wombo combos that can look to try and shut down everything that Order are thrown their way. Because unlike last week, they started off first of all with a composition that was very aggressive, but then their second pick, they played the Akali in the mid lane. They were looking for picks. You highlighted it yourself actually as the game finished as to if you don't find that first kill, then you feel a little bit lackluster. They've gone back to their old ways, but with a touch of spice, you'd say.
Yeah, I think this game is like we have a great insurance policy in on Aphelios Lulu, but we still want to be able to have some early game proactivity. So, you know, taking an aggressive mid-jungle 2v2. On the flip side, when you have a look at Avant Gaming's lineup, they all scale completely fine through to late, Skimmy. Maybe not the same early game punchiness, but certainly so much late game threat and range.
So, things that instantly interest me as we start this game off is the absence of a Doran's Blade or a shield here for Rare. He's actually opted in for a Cull to start things off.
Ooh, that feels disrespectful. Does that feel disrespectful to you, Skimmy? That feels disrespectful to me.
Well, I wonder, right, because we're seeing now, as the meta in the bot lane transitions from variation to variation, you talk about how Ezreal can afford to play quite aggressive before that BF Sword comes online. You know, you're looking usually at the Doran's item for the superior CSing ability, but this says to me, I either want to snowball out of control, well, I'm just quite content at farming and putting the onus on you to make something happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aphelios Lulu can definitely farm out this lane, but the risk is if you ever lose control of bottom lane wave and Graves comes to dive you, I think that they do have good kill threat. You know, he's not running barrier, he does have heal, he's not going to have cleanse or anything like that, so I just think that this is, you know, I understand what Cole does, it accelerates your mid game quite drastically, but it does feel a little bit cheeky from Rare 7.
Fits his nature quite accordingly, although I say that in the start of Split 2, hasn't been his conventional chaotic self that makes those plays that make you either scratch your head or open wide with amazement. We'll
aiming for a little bit more consistency, I would say, Skimmy so far. And has been able to find it. I think had a good opening, but Violet,
Absolutely.
his counterpart. I was actually going through this earlier, Skimmy, and you're the stats man. So I don't know if you have them in front of you, but I think Violet is the best AD carry across the board in terms of stats so far in the OPL.
Well, I can compare from what I have in front of me right now, which is the KDA of Violet is 5.9 versus the 4.5 of Rare. He's been far more active in his participation. If you compare the ADC output as a result, he's amounting around about 6% extra damage, so it doesn't sound too much in the grand scheme of things, but it is alleviating a lot of the pressure off Lisa to actually perform. But I think those stats could be skewed to a certain degree given the amount of strength they found with these oppressive Sennas and Karmas with Caitlyn's that just crush all the first towers, do so much in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the damage per minute of Violet is 653 damage per minute, which is insane, Skimmy. That's so high. Second highest in the entirety of the league, I believe. Whereas Rare, if I try and find him, is 442. So much less damage per minute than what Violet is bringing to the table. And I think that Violet's also had some big carry performances for himself. So I've obviously been a fan the whole year, Skimmy, and he's really coming to his stride. And I'm really happy that they've started to give him the starting games over Junkrat, because I think that he has performed well and deserves it.
He certainly has, and we were always a big fan when we did get to see him actually in action. So we get to see what this means now in the context of this game, given that these matchups are going to be a lot more even. There is not going to be any definitive victor or range advantage. We've seen how many times he's able to get that Storm Razor online first or the Infinity Edge and really punish the opposition as a result. As well, that's just Lisa literally walking into the lane, saying hello, and walking out again.
So what happens there is Lisa goes in, Doth puts himself between the turret and the wall, and Lisa says, well, I can't auto-attack you anymore, so I'll just auto-attack the turret once. Remind you that I've been around and come back. But what they actually got out of that, Skimmy, even though it doesn't look like it, is Harry's teleport. So Harry went back to base and said to Swiper, I now have full health and mana if you want to be defended on this dive. And that allows Swiper to stay under the turret. But Harry now had to use his teleport. At the same time, Swiper is getting punished. He is down 11 farm versus Paprise. And I think it was us again that were talking about this, Skimmy. We've had a lot of conversations lately, but Paprise has been a very welcome addition to this Avant Gaming lineup.
He certainly has. I mean, in terms of what he's brought to this team, a level head, a lot of consistency, a lot of damage, and some very decisive interactions. I mean, how many times do we see as Mordekaiser go toe-to-toe, Maokai down, say what, so much CS, and still get a kill onto a Kayle, and you can't forget that Ornn, you know, how many times he's getting 3 to 4 man consistent knockups.
Absolutely, and it looked like Order wanted to dive bottom lane, but their bottom lane didn't actually time the wave well, Skimmy, and therefore the dive was off. So Avant, if you look at kind of the two sides of the map that have been played, because Avant split top side and Order have split bottom side, you would have to say big advantage for the top side of Avant Gaming. They're going to be able to maintain their teleport, and they are going to be completely even in farm after this wave crashes, whereas Order's bottom side, you know, not as far ahead, I would assume.
Not at this stage, and it is going to be Hayri that...
The Cole really warps it for me though, Skimmy. Because they're up 2 plates and they're up a fair amount of CS. But he has a cull. I just don't know what that means.
Well, that was my influence in terms of, like, are they looking to try and force some early ganks? Are they looking to try to get some early priority? Are they trying to force things on the map? I've seen Twisted Fate sometimes rush the Swifty boots and be very proactive on the map before the Destiny, so you're not reliant on that as your sort of telegraphed maneuver as such. But he's gone for the Dark Seal instead, so quite content in matching that farm, and regardless, that priority still will be enough to mean that they can get the first dragon.
So very nice dragon take coming across from Order at the least. Skimmy, as you mentioned, bottom lane farm still about 9, so it is slightly better than I made it out to be. Meanwhile, top lane farm, however, is 17. So once again, Paprize, despite not having to use teleport, just in an absolute beastly situation. Skimmy, about a minute 15 until this Herald is going to be spawning as well. I would be very interested to see whether either team swaps for that. Lisa's higher level than Only as well. Chases him out.
Yeah, he's hit 6 first, although Leeson, as proficient as he is, regardless, wins the war of attrition in the bait, the mind games, and as you saw, obviously got that dragon, so still sniffing for any extra advantage if it can be found there, but as you say, in a minute away, and that Herald will be a real possibility, and it's always interesting as to how these teams look to try and flip that map. We've seen some excellent macro today in terms of leaving carries in these positions and spoon-feeding them all those plates to get those small gold leads, and at times they've been quite pivotal in claiming an edge in these skirmishes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Skimmy, and I wonder if this is one of those games where you try and, you know, bait the Yuumi as well as the Ezreal to walk upriver. They are probably a little bit more combat ready right now. With the fact that, you know, they've got themselves a set, they've got themselves, you know, level 6 Orianna. Always love talking about Orianna, but she is just an insane skirmisher at this stage of the game because she's got a shield, low cooldown on her Q, as well as movement displacement as well, going into a Twisted Fate who is realistically going to have Swifty boots and a bunch of health and mana. So I think Avant in a much better position to fight this one, and it looks like they agree because they are already on the objective, Skimmy.
That they are, top side of this draft, definitely favouring them so far. They've got the power, they've got the CS advantages, and they've got the ability to rotate here first. As Order, well, they're going to force that map flip, but they aren't going to be here in time.
All well and good force on the flip, Skimmy, but they don't have anyone near the objective. So they just lose on both fronts. They lose out on the creep because they were the ones that flipped first. It costs them about 500 gold worth of experience and 500 CS worth of... Wow. CS worth 500 gold, is what I'm trying to say. And they lose the objective. So very sloppy play from the blue side team there. And Avant, I think, are in pretty good control of this game, Skimmy.
And I think that has been a narrative coming into Split 2, right? For the most part, they are incredibly strong in the early game. They assert themselves with so much control. They get themselves these nice little advantages. The questions have always arisen, though, when it comes into mid and transition into late. What are they willing to forgive, or what are they willing to sacrifice? And is it necessarily always the right decision? Because that's what sometimes comes to haunt them in closing out these matches.
Looks like it's going to be a 4-man dive topside onto Paprize.
They want to give Swiper a little bit of a chance to try and exert his pressure, his veteran status in the lead. The Grit will survive for a long time. Flashes out, Gravitum is active. And the kill will be handed on a silver platter to Harry's Twisted Fate.
Yeah, really nicely played there from Order because they didn't even have to use any summoner spells. 3 ultimates do come across, however, Skimmy. But you would say 4 First Blood as well as potentially the first turret, as it is an Aphelios with the white gun available, going to be very worthwhile. See whether Swiper can survive the dive on the other side of the map. And honestly, it doesn't even look like it is coming, Skimmy.
Big win, and this is what we were highlighting before, right? In terms of trying to get as many of those plates as possible, all in the right places. 2 to 3, the gold is going to be shared far better for these two in particular.
Ooh, can they take it?
I think they get this on the next wave. Not going to be any response from Paprize. He's going to return to this one without a flash. Doesn't have his ultimate.
Herald dropped bottom though, Skimmy. Who gets it first? Okay, they haven't even
miles away.
Why have they not dropped the Herald yet?
Drops it now. We'll need to do a little bit more damage, but has to wait for this wave to come on through for the one shot. But regardless, the headlock will still come on through. But, you know, this was an Avant play to get the Heralds, to get a small gold lead. Completely all undone.
Yeah, I mean, Swiper's just bought so much time on the bottom side of Summoner's Rift that now Avant is what we call tempo stuffed, if you will, Skimmy. Normally use a slightly stronger word there. But what that means is Dragon is coming up in 20 seconds, and they're not going to be on the map at the same time as the Dragon. So they now technically have to decide whether they stay and don't have any items for it, or whether they just give up this Dragon positioning completely. You can actually see that Oriana has done the sneaky gimme, and it will come down into the river, and will not get chased out, actually. So I think
there are wards in bottom try right now, so deep teleport flanks are a very real possibility for both.
Ooh, liking where Violet is on Ezreal at the moment as well. Does have Sheen as well as Pickaxe.
Yep.
So very good gold skimmy to be able to fight at this stage. And Order are trying to sneak the objective, but Avant no.
That they do, as a result of Oriana going for it. Flash into kick into Sonic Wave. Can he connect? Lisa comes in from downtown and spots him out of trouble. Jungle for jungle. That's a 1-for-0 at this stage of the fight. Pathrise goes huge, and Ayla gets double tapped for an easy double. Lisa coming up with the goods as he gets himself a triple. Avant, early game kings, and they do the damage.
They certainly do, Skimmy. A very nice kick onto Chaz, but only needed to follow up on it. As soon as he went over that wall, the 1v1 with Lisa was all but over. They take 4 kills. Order only trade 2 back, and the Dragon goes across to Avant Gaming. Gold now certainly in their favor. And it's just one of those things. I said I really liked Violet's items in that fight, and he really beat Order over the head with them.
I'm interested as to the decision making there from Only, because it seemed on a bit of a disconnect as the kick was obviously set up. Sonic Wave was there. The polymorph came out from Ayla, but like he dashed over the wall with the safeguard to try and force another fight. We'll see it here in the replay.
So if he goes forward, he has all of the peel that Ayla can give him, you know. Level 6 available from this Lulu. There would have been so much ability to continue it. Rare actually flashed forward into that fight. And you see, actually was able to take Chaz and Violet very low. But just too many tools not used in that fight. Swiper's ultimate not used. Ayla's ultimate not used. So you have to say that Avant Gaming walking away with a very good trade, Skinny.
Look how many flashes had to be burnt as well. I believe 8 had to be used because I think Pathrise has already been gone from that previous tower dive top sides. But as you highlight, Ayla the first one to fall on down. No target to find a wild growth onto. No chance to even use it on himself. And we can see the gold lead here. Despite everything looking good so far for Violet, the BF sword items coming out clutch with a massive lead here for the Aphelios.
Okay, so what did Aphelios get this game? Can we backtrack this gold? So he gets 400 or whatever it is off the Cull, which is good.
Got plates bottom, got a full turret top.
Yeah, got 2 plates bottom, and he got the solo gold top. So, you know, that's probably about, what was it, 1400 gold? So Rare 7 certainly is very far ahead. And the one thing about Ezreal over other 80 carries, Skimmy, and I talk about this a lot actually, is that Ezreal can get Manamune, Iceborne Gauntlet around about 18 to 20 minutes if he's farming really well. Obviously, you would have to say Violet not farming the best. It's 14.5 minutes into the game. He's 117 CS. You would expect him to be about 150 if he was farming perfectly. You know, you can see his mid laner is nearly there. So you have to say, could be a little bit further ahead of the clock, but he's still probably going to get it around 22. Rare shouldn't have his 2 items spike at that stage. However, this game, he probably will, just because of how accelerated this Aphelios has become through the turret plating that he's been able to pick up.
And then it becomes a very real question of, I have the item advantage, we just need to set ourselves up so we can utilize the kit behind it. We're talking safeguard, we're talking knock-ups, stuns, wild growths, and a lot of it. But will Avant get another opportunity?
The question is going to be, how do they actually get onto them, Skimmy? Because I think that's actually quite difficult, although this could help.
Well, if you've got the right weapons, you can definitely look for it. Gravity goes out, they flash away, Shockwave onto 2, turn things around, All comes out, they find 1. Lisa gets the kill. As he takes away Only for the 2nd time in a row. 1 by 1 they fall, shields are coming out, mitigation is there, Swiper running away. He led the line, he soaked up the damage, and he lives to tell the tale.
On the back line.
However, on the flank, 1v2, on the tower, 1v3. Pathrise continues to show up. My gosh. Avant are loving life.
And Order just lost a 4v5, and then Pathrise came in and absolutely decimated them, Skimmy. You have a look at how this started. It's going to be TF ult and only diving in, but a really well-played Shockwave blows them up. You can see that Swiper already here, Paparize in the bottom lane, and the fight was over. Order trying to retreat, but just look at Paparize on the back end of this fight. Rare going forward when really the team needs him, hitting this set. And we'll be able to get 1 kill, I believe. It was a shutdown, but Paparize with a triple kill in that fight.
The first time we've actually seen Ornn be behind here today, and a very different narrative when the set is this far accelerated. We've seen how many times they can look to try and jump into the backline with that showstopper slowdown free to just delete, as they both sit now on these Black Cleaver spikes. Lisa and Paparize having a good time now, pulling out their counterparts.
Rare's items, Skimmy?
I wonder if he's taking a crash course in how to play Caitlyn.
Potentially.
We saw what, double
cloak.
Zeals from Violet last time?
Yep.
And I've got double
Probably
cloaks. Flashed away. Full combo there from Avant, will not stick. But that flash will not stay online for a very long time.
So no flash for Rare versus no Shockwave in this fight. I don't think Order are in any situation to be able to take the Dragon fight anyway. See pings from only into topside jungle. Looks like potentially they want to focus mid lane turret instead. Avant will pick himself up the Ocean. Very nice gameplay from Avant so far, Skimmy. This team very impressive.
Certainly are, as the third Dragon of the game goes their way, and Chaz was on mid-tower protection duties as he hangs onto it and still has that Herald in his pocket for them to look to bully their advantage and make that gold lead balloon a little bit more in their favour. We're starting to see those Enchanter items come online. You have Fiends here for the Yuumi, the Ardent Sensor for the Lulu.
And really, that's what Order's hoping for right now, Skimmy. And the Aphelios, 1v9. He's going to get himself an Ornn upgrade. He's going to have himself probably in the Chaos or something coming out. He's got himself the biggest mixed bag of items I have ever seen.
And he's gone for the execution. Is this almost... Okay, I'm thinking if we're going back to old school League of Legends when you still run that... What was it? Like 1% crit rune?
Yep.
It looks to me like... Okay, bear with me. You get the Ardent Sensor, you've got a ton of attack speed. You just shoot off with the snipers and the chakrams. You hit them from 2 million miles away. One of them has to crit for big damn. One of them sticks, you win a fight.
Potentially could be the case, right? Maybe he's looking for that ultimate into instant maximum chakras with sniper rifle, which is, I believe, the combo you're talking about. Get 16 attacks and, 4 of them crit, and then you just take someone out of the fight instantly. More likely, he's going to be playing against Ezreal in his item power spike right now, and he's going to be shut out of the next team fight. And Order are going to have to play for 3 items. I don't think they're winning any fight right now. Advantage is too far ahead.
Certainly are. Lisa's had the run of the mill, and despite the CS discrepancy, not really painting that overall picture. He's always been on a flank, always making it so that only is having to force the first play. He's getting the open on him, he's getting the jump on him, winning that 1v1, then transition it into a fight. Uncontested, nobody can look to bully him out. They're taking objectives, they are taking names as well, and you think you take one down, then somebody else spawns out. A quiet game for Paparize, but he transitions that early lead in that top matchup against Swiper into the catalyst, really, that blew this game wide open in the 3-man flank.
Yeah, and that was really the turning point. You're right. The actual fight was already done by the time Paparize got there, but the bravery and courage, I guess, to just genuinely throw the dice on the turret dive 1v3 was so impressive. And Paparize, once again, rotating to this fight. Order going to lose another turret, Skimmy. 4,000. Oh, not that much. 3,000. Math bad today. Gold is now the difference. And they look like they're in real trouble of losing an early Baron as well.
Now, a couple of questions just to take a quick stock check as we wait for this game to slow down a little bit. Haven't seen much of an impact here with the Twisted Fate.
Yep.
Have yet to see that Destiny play come out where you're looking to try and force a numbers advantage. Didn't really see it happen during laning phase. He's obviously now gone for that Lich Bane, so hitting a power spike where we can look to try and influence and potentially one-shot somebody, but Are we now looking to try and split the map wide open, play a 1-3-1, try and run Avant Gaming, ragged around this map and say, look, you can try and force those objectives, but we're going to take structures, we're going to really force your hand.
Yeah, I think that's what the game plan should have been, right? That's why you picked Twisted Fate, but I think more impressively, it's actually Order that are at a massive turret disadvantage. They took the first turret of the game, Skimmy, and they've lost the next 4. Swiper now picking up one in the bottom side of the map. But you just got to say that Avant has kind of beaten them to the punch in most areas. So unless the map is big, Twisted Fate's ultimate kind of just sucks. It's kind of just to reveal the enemies on the map ultimate. And you're right, Harry's Twisted Fate has not looked all that impressive so far.
Well, how can they set themselves up going into this next one? 50 seconds on the third dragon, that would favour Avant greatly. As they definitely do set themselves up in these side lanes as both the Titans go absolutely at it. Now looking for those kills. Now comes the Destiny. Now looks for the 1v1 kill.
Who's going to go towards the Baron here? And the trade is sure. You guys are going to take a turret, but we're going to take Baron. That is not a good trade.
Are available. They can TP in if they need to. That's exactly going to be what Twisted Fate decides to do as he regathers himself with the mid lane. Baron down to half though, Spawn, as Pepperized can do just the same. We have got a fight on our hand. A scoreboard down, it's action time as the defense play gives him tons of movement speeds. Who wins the smite fight? That's what we're going to find out. It goes the way of Avant as the fight comes crashing on in. Lisa takes that only once again. He has not had much choice in this matchup, I tell you that much, as Violet is locked inside the pit, but he has the movement speed. He has to disengage. He will get out clean as you can, as Order are unable to deny the Baron bust at this stage.
Yeah, and they get the Baron. Now they're streaming back onto the map. I think they're going to get the Dragon too, and if Order go for this, I think they're going to lose the game, Skimmy.
I am incredibly worried at this stage of the game. Yes, you've got damage. Yes, you can bank on it to be a slithing, but you don't have a smite. Lisa is a monster at this stage of the game. He could literally kill you all on his own. He picks it up for free. He laughs at them. And now they're just going to look to try and pick these members apart one by one. They scurry around. First to fall is Harry as Swiper tries to taunt them and tries to make them chase onto him. He gives us the thumbs up because that's probably what he's feeling right now as he falls on down for the second kill. The rest of the team run back to base and try to regather themselves and collect their thoughts as to how they reached this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this game has now become incredibly difficult for Order. Avant Gaming are just outperforming them everywhere on Summoner's Rift, Skimmy. You can see that very good decision making coming out of the Avant Gaming lineup. They start up the Baron. They dissuade Order for long enough, and Violet is at the stage of the game where you can see that he is so confident, with or without the Yuumi. They break open the base. Swiper's still 6 seconds away from spawn. Flank was thought about from only, but really there is nothing happening on Summoner's Rift. And they find themselves now 6,000 gold in a hole.
Avant achieving maximum efficiency with this Baron. One inhibitor's already fallen down in the mid lane. And they have their eyes set on a second. They aren't scared of this turret. They aren't scared of the damage. They have the damage. The shockwave onto free! It's disgusting! Avant are so damn good in this game. It's so damn clean. It's far too easy. And they want aces. They want it all. As only will dash on in and slow by the Frozen Gauntlet will not be able to survive. Triples, doubles, you name it, they'll get it. Avant get the ace. 17 kills to 3. It's an absolute whitewash. And they're going to end the base. They're going to end the game, rather, of a successful team fight in convincing fashion. 25 minutes in, Avant will take down Order.
Call it what it is, Skimmy. Avant absolutely smashed Order. That is a 25-minute, 10,000 gold victory. And that is the first game that we've seen Avant play a traditional style composition and look so incredibly comfortable doing it. Out team fighting, out laning, and definitely out macroing Order in that game.
It was disgusting. And here I was thinking, we've seen from them, they've not really revealed too much. They've been very rigid in there. We want to go for a high push priority lane in that bot side. We want to play through that. That's what our strength is. You see week 2, it goes, not too sure what's happened here. They look a lot weaker as a result of not getting this quote-unquote run trick. Yep. And a few interesting shot calls in the mid-game. But they came into that and said, look, we're going to play these hyper carry enchanters, but we're far better than you. Yes, Aphelios, don't disrespect us with the coal. Don't think that you have this 2,000 gold lead, because the rest of our team come in absolutely clutch. And, well, Nick, how did that make you feel? That's what I want to ask.
I mean, I want to say that Rusty and I were the real winners, because we got to sit back and just go, I can't believe this is the first game that Spawn has to cast of his team.
Why do I keep calling them my team? I'm an unbiased caster, man, talking from not on the screen.
There we go. But look, you got to get this one out of the system before you settle back into the weekend, I suppose, Rusty.
Yeah, I mean, I watch that game and I see individual performances from everyone in AV, and I feel like now they've set the bar again, right? Like, they can't drop the ball now that they've proven what they're capable of again, so we want that consistency from them at this point, and that's the thing that I'm most concerned about, I would say, with AV is, will they come in tomorrow and we'll get that exact same team? Hard to tell.
Chaz, it all rests on your shoulders. Don't let us down.
Thank
you
Chaz
very
or
much.
Paprise? Paprise, to me, is the sleeper OT
He's so
person.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a 17 CS lead in laning phase. I think it was like 33 to 50 or something like that. And then he just had permanent side lane pressure. Like, majority of that game, picked himself up a tricky triple. Like, Paprise, I think Chaz is playing at the level he was last split, and Paprise has exceeded all expectation to me.
Mm-hmm. We've got to get Paprise when we're back in studio, if that ever happens, if the world doesn't end before that. We're going to get Paprise in studio. We've got Chaz in. Chaz has formed a Chaz identity on the broadcast. I feel like Paprise, like you said, playing beyond expectations. Let's get him in and shock the world with his personality. All right, it is time to wrap up the OPL part of the broadcast by taking a look back at the games that were played today, the results if you missed them, or if you were here enjoying your evening with us. We love to have you, and you love to be on the left-hand side of this graphic for most of the time. Direwolves beating Gravitas for game number 1, Chiefs taking out Mammoth for game 2, Legacy taking out PGG, but not nearly as decisively as we thought, and PGG looked like they were in it, and then Avant making sure that Rusty can get onto his study early for the rest of the evening by defeating Order quite decisively there for Game 4. We'll take a look at the games you can expect tomorrow, because of course this is a two-parter, as it always is here on the OPL. Join us tomorrow, 4 p.m. Sydney time. AEST? AEDT? I should look this up, I never remember. Doesn't matter. The time zone where I live, that's all you need to know. Order versus Mammoth, game number 1. PGG versus Gravitas, game 2. Legacy and Avant are game 3. And Chiefs versus Dire Wolves, game 4. Rusty, pick your banger.
I was looking at chat. Number 4. Yeah.
Number 4.
Or 3. Actually, I kind of like both.
Last
Number
2
1.
games are insane. Stop
Yeah,
with
last
the
2 games are really good.
last 2 games tomorrow, absolutely insane. Second half of the OPL, you do not want to miss.
You do not want to miss at all, and then it's just going to continue with the MPL. The gameplay is just going to get better and better. Tonight we are heading into ARAMS for the MPL, and we will be playing with you guys. So please add me, Nick Boy, on League as a friend, and you might get a chance to play against us and potentially with us as well. We may need a ringer in there as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you to the production crew for making tonight happen. Thank you to Spawn, Rusty, and Skimmy, my friends, my space friends.
That wasn't a planned segment, which is just
not
great when you think about it.
That just happened.
That was a joy. And I feel like we all learned something. Also, I then learned after the segment about something called the Dark Forest theory. That's terrifying. The idea that the reason we haven't encountered any alien civilizations is because all aliens are quiet because they're terrified of everyone else in the dark forest. So we're all just terrified to send out any signal, except for us, who are stupid and send a bunch of I Love Lucy episodes careening through space. So any civilization within 100 light years of us will be encountering I Love Lucy shortly, and will know exactly where to point their rockets.
Do you know what this is, Nick?
What is that?
Do you know what it is? You should know what this is.
Yeah, it's like a heaty weedy pillow thingy.
Yeah, it's a Wheatie bag. It got cold during that game.
But you were too proud to put on the beanie?
No, so Jenna also bought that because I accused Jenna of it, and apparently she was watching the broadcast. So she bought me in her weenie bag and a beanie. But I couldn't put the beanie on without not listening to Skimmy, and I love Skimmy so much.
But the heaty weedy bag is keeping your heaty weedies nice and toasty. So,
correct.
And they will continue to be toasty during the MPL. We hope to see you guys there. A massive thanks to our partners who have made all of this possible. Wait, what was that? Sorry, something just popped up on my screen. A massive thank you to NeoSurf, EPOS, and Macca's for making this evening possible. And we will see you guys tomorrow and up next for the MPL.
Today is the NeoSurf Cup, and we're going to be playing against Misfits, so hopefully bring home the win.
NeoSurf is simple, safe and secure. You can go to your local shop and get a voucher code and use it online, preferably to buy League of Legends skins.
He's got it! This is deadly! He's got it!
Welcome to the 2020 OPL. I am Nick Boy Richardson.
And that's a beautiful hemo play, got to multiple members. He gets himself a double kill.
It's Ray's doing what he does, the team fight king.
We love everybody. We love the OPL.
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
Greetings, Captain. Incoming status report with news from the Convergence. We've lost contact with some of our allies and enemies have called in reinforcements. We'll have to round up some new recruits if we want to restore peace to the galaxy. Ready? This is Team Fight Tactics Galaxies. Return to the stars. Valkyrie and Void forces have withdrawn from the intergalactic arena. But systems report that new champions have emerged with abilities we've never seen before. Mechanized units identified as Battlecast wreak fear and havoc among the ranks of their adversaries, while Astros possess unique abilities. It looks like some remarkably powerful champions are making their way to the front lines. A creature of total mechanical terror, Urgot launches his drill at enemies and reels them in for utter annihilation. Janna casts powerful storms across the battlefield, bolstering allies and disrupting enemy units with impressive crowd control. Thanks to her unique origin, she grants allies additional attack bonuses, giving her team some much-needed support. Oh, one more thing. The Galactic Leaderboard has been reset. With legions of new recruits entering the intergalactic stage, each with unlimited potential waiting to be tapped, I can hardly calculate all the future possibilities. Well, actually, I can. But that's not the point. The galaxy needs you, Captain. So, ready on your go.